Hi you guys, and welcome back to Tantric Tuesday. So we are continuing on with the topic of energy in terms of connection, conscious connection, sexuality, tantric energy. And today we're going to be talking about energy in terms of societal beliefs that we've taken on, these extra beliefs that have been imprinted in us from society, from religion, from our families, from our parents about sex. I'm going to call them sextras. These extra beliefs or thoughts or ideals or ideas that we have picked up from outside, not from within our own body, but from whatever sex ed talk you had with your parents, or from whatever sex education you got or most likely didn't get at school, and what our society in general, our culture tells us about sex. And that's a lot to unpack, and that's a lot of baggage that's been laid on us. So what I want to talk to you today about are what do we do about this? You're carrying around sextras. I'm carrying around sextras. Everyone in this entire world is carrying around these extra beliefs, often false, often shameful, often never inquired about by our own minds, by our own bodies, about sex that we've just incorporated and taken in from the outside. Think about how much energy it takes to drag along all those beliefs, all those societal images and fears and shame. That's a lot of weight and back. Think of how much energy it's taking us to drag this along. When we want to walk into our bedroom, into our sanctuary, and have this beautiful, rich energy feeling, fill our cup up, sexual interaction, but yet we're anchored down by this weight. So how do we get past these sextras, let go of these extras, and start to cut that off, lay the weight down, and formulate your own opinions about sex? What are your desires? What are your needs? What are your wants? What do you think is informed consent? How can you be more honest about what you're feeling and sensing and what's going on in your body about in terms of sex and sexuality? And how can you convey that, even more importantly, convey that in an effective and a positive way to your partner, so you have this beautiful positive feedback loop between the two of you? We can do two things to see where we are carrying these extras, these sextras. One is to question at the level of the mind these crazy, silly thoughts. And two is to get viscerally in the body, to be able to have some type of mindfulness or meditation practice, some type of practical kinesthetic, mind-body, metaphysical, whatever way you describe it, but tools that at the visceral level get you to sit with the emotion of, oh, that's a lie, or I'm afraid of that, or that's a shameful thought. To get at when those thoughts come up in our head, the reaction that's going on in our body, and to be able to process it there, and to be able to question those thoughts. So when a thought comes up, if we can get viscerally into our body and go, oh, that's a sensation of shame. Where did that come from? Oh, well, it came from this thought about sex. Well, where did that come from? Inquiring about that. And one of the best ways that you can get at the level of the mind inquiry is literally do your work, do some Byron Katie work about questioning your thoughts about stressful or negative or underdeveloped or untrue thoughts that we have about sex. Like, oh, he shouldn't do this, or she shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this. It's the most effective form of questioning and inquiring about your thoughts that I have found, other than deep meditation. And on the level of deep meditation, what that gives you is the ability to sit with. If you're doing a formal, worthwhile method of meditation, there is some form of sensory inquiry going on in terms of sensations in the body, whether it's the sensation that comes from a thought, whether it's a reaction or sensation that comes from a feeling or a belief or pain in the body. One place you need to inquire in is the sensory system, so that you're able to sit with the sensation and test it a way you do that is either at the level of the mind, you start to question your thoughts about sex. You start to ask, what do I feel about sex? What do I think about sex? Whenever something comes up in your mind that goes, oh, that's not right, or she shouldn't do that, or he shouldn't do that, that's the thought you need to question. But at the visceral level, it could be that maybe it's you see something visual. Sex is so visual, especially for men, but also for women. We have eyes as a sense store. Hello, not just men. So when you see people kissing in public, or you see some public display of affection, see what's coming up in your body about whether you're judging that or whether you're enjoying it, and what happens to your thought after you enjoy it. And then does it go from that to like, oh, shame, like I shouldn't watch that, or just start to see. This is an area that you really need to start playing with. And what you'll see is that this runs so deep, and it is a diversion of so much energy when it comes to sex and sexuality, that we're like way over here playing here in these archaic thought patterns, that we're unable to free up that space to come over here and have the energy to actually connect, to have informed consent, to learn how to flirt, to learn how to positively play with your partner, to learn how to communicate at really deep, naked, delicious, sexy levels, because we're locked over here. So we've got to start unpacking this a little bit so that we can get to these places. I went on vacation with my partner and husband a couple of weeks ago, and we went to a place where there was a woman, and she was dancing. She was pole dancing, and it was like a nightclub type setting, and she was fucking beautiful at it. Like, she was phenomenal, and in a way that was so natural. Like, she was just in her own skin, and she was like, the entire world had disappeared, and she was just at one with the music and in this state of flow, and her body was just like liquid, and it was just beautiful. And what's really cool is both myself and my partner got to unpack all these sextras, these cultural conditions, social beliefs about that one interaction. And what came up for both of us was like, wow, she's gorgeous. Oh, whoa, oh my gosh, my partner might be jealous. Well, oh gosh, am I attracted to her? Oh, should I be staring at her? Oh my God, I'm being a voyeur. It was a scenario where obviously she didn't care, and we were in a place where it wouldn't have been unnatural for us to look. She was 5 feet in front of us. There were no barriers to us just enjoying, like I said, just the liquidity and the sexuality and the movement and the beauty of that woman, just being so confident and comfortable in her own skin and enjoying it. But yet all those conditioned beliefs would come up. You would just be like kind of watching and enjoying, and then a thought would come up, and then the reaction in your body would drive up through your gut or your solar plexus or your shoulders, or some part of tension or tightness in the body, or a moment of shame, or something would come up. And then because I have the skills through meditation and from being mindful and to question my thoughts, you develop that little bit of pre-processing power to go, oh, what's this little thing that's coming up in me? And what's this thought that's coming up in me? And to question that, and not only question it, it was completely an unexpected thing to have come across and to be able to have witnessed for both of us. We processed that a little bit on our own. And then maybe the day after, we had a great conversation about it, and it was like, oh my God, this is what was going on inside of me, and he was talking about this is what was going inside of him, and then we were both talking about how we thought the other was thinking, and we had this most delicious unpacking of truth that brought our level of intimacy to a whole nother deeper layer. And it also brought our recognition of just how much even all of the work that we've done, we found a blind spot. It was really cool. I talked to you about this in the mindfulness series and also in the Tantric Tuesday series about seeing your blind spots about sex. And so it was a beautiful, beautiful interaction of seeing our blind spots about it. So this week I'm going to encourage you to start asking yourself, what beliefs, what thoughts, what weight, what ideals am I carrying around about sex and sexuality that are not mine? And a really easy place you could go is back to the last video. I posted something to poke you, to vex you a bit, to get you to think about this a little bit. I posted a video about how the landscape is now going to be changing in terms of women being able to potentially show their breasts and be topless in public. And so that's a great place to start of like, ooh, how do I react to that? What do I think about that? Does that make me feel uncomfortable? Does that make me feel this way? Or do I have beliefs that I didn't even think about it? Because this is the thing about that. That was closed off to you until a week ago. Now, maybe that might be a possibility. Where before that's what happens in terms of sex and sexuality. There's so much that's just closed off to us in terms of even thinking about it or even considering it. Because you go, oh, no, there's a law against that and we're okay and protected and packed tight there and we don't have to worry about any areolas or nipples or breasts in public, so we're good. It's like we're not even encouraged to go touch those edges or question them. So that could be a place that you go and question and inquire about. It could be inquiry about your own body. It could be inquiry about what goals you put on sex when you have sex with a partner. Is it always a goal? Do I have a goal to go in and have an orgasm? Or do I have these expectations about sex? Or do I have these certain ways that I look at it that really were adapted from when I was a teenager or a kid, and my sexual mind was starting to wrap its little head around this topic? What did I pick up there? I did some work this week at the level of the mind, and Byron Katie work with the most, thank you, Carol, the most beautiful facilitator. Oh my God, it unwrapped some amazing, amazing, revealing thoughts that I had been carrying around about women and how we should be holding our sexuality and how we should be holding ourselves and connect to the world. And it was so archaic and silly. And through that work, I now see that person or that woman that I had that thought about, and I see myself, both of us, as like, it's so liberating now. It's like through that work I've been able to liberate, and I see the beauty in both of us, and I see the beauty in that moment, and I can really, like that woman that was dancing in front of me, just go, wow, you are a beautiful human being. Your body is beautiful. You know how to move in it. You know how to appreciate it and breathe and to be in flow with it. And that is beautiful. And I don't have to feel inhibited or feel like I have to guard her or protect women or have my own weird shit come up about it. It's like in that moment, I just get to be there. And I just get to soak it in, and I just get to let it wash through my body. And that's how we get rid of the body keeps the score. Every time we have one of those thoughts and those restrictions, we're holding them in our ovaries, in our bellies, in our solar plexuses, in our sexual organs. We are holding those reactions and those beliefs, not just here, you guys. This is why we have diseases like endometriosis or hormonal dysfunctionality just running rampant right now. Is you think this stays here? Fuck, it doesn't stay here. It drops right down into your sexual organs, into the organs that affect sex. We got to start seeing that. And then when we see that and we can start to let them go, boy, is that liberating. And fun and spiritually evolutionary. This is a tool for enlightenment. Taoism, Zen recognized sex. Buddha did. They don't talk about it a lot. It's in there in Buddhism, and there's a lot of sexism in there, but there's a lot of sex in there too. This is an area of our life, if we just shut down and we think we're going to get all enlightened over here. This is what's happening with all these gurus now, why they're out committing sexual assaults right and left. Their method of inquiry stops there, and it doesn't include sex. And when you cut something out of you that's so fucking primal, that is so connective and beautiful and natural, it's just going to come up in ugly, dysfunctional ways. So let's start thinking about the sextras this society is imprinting on you, imprinting on your girls, imprinting on your boys, imprinting on men. And let's start shedding those shackles and getting them right the hell off of us, because they're not helpful and they're not going to help us grow. So thanks for joining me today, you guys. Namaste.